The film Oppenheimer has grabbed the world's attention and highlighted the threat to humanity posed by nuclear weapons. Traditionally, however, when we think about the potential for nuclear war, we're inclined to think in terms of nuclear holocaust, the US homeland under attack by intercontinental ballistic missiles and bombers. What national security experts have spent less time thinking about is the potential for what we call a limited nuclear attack by an adversary, the use of one or a few nuclear weapons, perhaps on the battlefield, perhaps not against cities or bases, designed to achieve an end to a conflict that favors the adversary's terms. As you consider the potential for an escalating conflict in the Indo-Pacific, beginning with either aggression by China, perhaps against Taiwan, or aggression by North Korea against South Korea, the risk of this escalating to the point of a limited nuclear attack by either of these adversaries is very real. So why are we particularly concerned about the potential for a limited nuclear attack in the Indo-Pacific? It's because of the nature of the regimes in Beijing and Pyongyang and the military capabilities that they have available. When you look at the calculus that's likely to prevail in these authoritarian regimes, if they initiate a military conflict, they're unlikely to accept defeat short of using every tool they have in their arsenal to try and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Given the fact that both China and North Korea are investing tremendous amounts in developing their tactical nuclear capabilities, their shorter ranged, smaller nuclear capable systems, it means that they will have the tools at their disposal in the event of a conflict to be able to launch limited nuclear attacks. Given that these capabilities exist and this calculus exists, the risk is very real, and it's one that we have to deter. If we're going to fight China or North Korea, we have to deter them from using nuclear weapons, even in a limited way, during such a conflict. What do we do about this threat? How do we deter it? Well, first and foremost is the messaging. It's important to have unity both within the United States and among the United States and its friends and allies, to make it clear that a limited nuclear attack will not divide us, it will simply unite us. And particularly, it's important for us to show that we're prepared to deal with such a limited nuclear attack and that we will fight through, that we will not allow such a limited nuclear attack to cause us to give up. Second, we must be prepared for the possibility for such a limited nuclear attack and have good options to respond. This means that we'll have to further develop our conventional and nuclear capabilities to make sure that there is no perception of a gap where the adversary could escalate to a limited degree with nuclear weapons and leave us no good options to respond at the same level. The third among a whole series of recommendations is to adopt sub-regime deterrence approaches, to think about how to affect the calculus of leaders below the top dictator within a totalitarian society. How do we convince the military officers, even down to the people who are actually operating the equipment, that it's not in their interest to follow through with an order to execute a limited nuclear attack? Thanks to our sponsors at the Defense Threat Reduction Agency, we were able to develop our analysis into a much more detailed series of judgments and recommendations, which we encourage you to read on the Atlantic Council's website. We hope that this will be the beginning of a much larger and in-depth conversation on the potential for limited nuclear attack by adversaries in the Indo-Pacific and the importance of pursuing integrated deterrence to prevent that.